Britain is a place known for how festive it gets around the holidays, and the island of Sodor has one of the most important Christmas celebrations in Britain. Not exactly for the people who live there, but for the trains who work its many railway lines. Each year, Sir Topham Hatt picks a different engine to deliver the decorations and presents to Tidmouth for the engines to share, and Edward was excited when he learned that this year he'd be the chosen one.
Are you sure you're up for the challenge? They're on the other side of the island, and it may take you all night to get there and back,
said the Fat Controller. Oh, I'll serve you well, said Edward.
Good luck, Edward,
said James.
I'd be careful if I were you, knowing I'd be delivering what could be me own presents.
Oh, shut up, James, said Edward. You'll see. And without another word, Edward was off. He knew he had no time to lose. By the time Edward finally reached the supplies on the other side of the island, night had fallen. Knowing he was burning time before Christmas Eve became Christmas Day, he hastily coupled himself to the car full of Christmas supplies and began his trip back in the direction of Tidmouth Station. All seemed to be going well for the moment. But then there was trouble. Hey, can you maybe get me out of my predicament? Asked the strange man in the suit. I've got a very special delivery. Wouldn't you mind moving that hulking giant Yankee truck out of the way? Replied Edward. I can't, it's broken down. Is there anybody on board who can give it a push? Edward was having none of it. Oh, it's a push you want? Then it's a push you'll get! Edward raced off into the night, not realizing that he wasn't quite alone on the tracks that night. The other train came around a blind bend and didn't activate any signal lamps, so Edward had no way of knowing it was coming until it was too late. The night technically wasn't over, and yet Edward knew he wouldn't be making the delivery. The next morning, after a very long night with the breakdown train, Edward arrived at Tidmouth expecting the worst. He'd be the Scrooge of the party, he thought. What he didn't expect to see, however, was presents, and the most impressively tall Christmas tree he had ever seen already set up outside the shed. Where did you guys get all of this? Edward asked.
You didn't know?
Henry asked.
That delivery that the Fat Controller has us do every year is fake. That car you were hauling, it was completely empty. He only has us do it to prove our loyalty to the railway, as a job right in the middle of the holidays would take a pretty loyal fellow to do. And considering how much you went through trying to get that cargo here, I'd say that you passed the test with flying colors.
I mean, don't you think it'd be a bit impractical to store Tidmouth's decorations anywhere other than Tidmouth? James asked. Thanks, guys, Edward said. So, who wants to open presents? And they had a very Merry Christmas indeed, as should you.